venue. Can I give you a quick confession about my childhood, just to kick things off light? Okay. So you know how when you're growing up and there's 2 or 3 things that as a child, you're like, I really wish I could have had a chance to do that, right? So my 2 things are, number 1, I never got to be a flower girl in a wedding, okay? Just turned 43, still hoping for something, right? And the second thing is, I never got to go to summer camp, so I'm so excited to be invited here today. Thank you. All right, Scentsy fam, so today we're talking all about unlocking your big sales energy. Your big sales energy. That version of you where you are showing up as your absolute most energized, your most magnetic. The version of you that every single time you type, text, tweet, or talk, people can't help but say, tell me more. So I'm gonna share with you my 3-step big sales energy formula. So the next time that you are talking about the Scentsy opportunity, about the Scentsy moments, you will be able to attract more attention, increase your influence, and sell smarter for your very next meeting, message, or moment. So that's our game plan. How's it sound good? Woo! All right, so to get started first, if we have not met yet on the internet, my name is Erin King, and I think the best way to get to know someone is not necessarily the companies they work for or the companies that they started, but the company that they keep. And so if you don't mind, I would love for you to meet the 3 people who really give me the most energy in the world. Starting respectfully at the very top of our household, please meet the one and only Miss Betty White. Do we meet for our parents in the audience?
Yes.
All right, not to get political, this is very polarizing, okay? Do dogs belong in bed with humans? Yes?
Yes.
Correct, okay. Should dogs be forced, this was a little more touch and go, should dogs be forced to dress in Halloween costumes with their humans? No. Everybody knows that a WWF wrestler needs a referee, okay? Now raise your hand if you said no. Let's see, who said no? Because why? Why did you say no? Because you feel sorry for them, right? They hate it, right? Look, she loves it. Look. And AVT, if we can get current and next slide, that would be amazing up here real quick. Okay, so the second person that I would love you to meet is the person who thinks they're the head of our household. Please meet the one and only Mr. Hartman King. Okay, Hartman King. Now, no one ever claps for him. That is so nice. He's backstage loving it. Thank you. Y'all just made his year. Okay, so his middle name is Hartman, which sounds like the last name. He goes by it as his first name. I'm as confused as y'all. All I know is in the right light, he kind of gives off like this busted Bradley Cooper vibe, which I'm like very here for. Hello, all me. Okay. And finally, friends, I would love for you to meet the person who has had the biggest influence on my entire life, the OG big energy being. Scentsy family, please meet the one and only Nana. Nana just turned 90 last month. And she is, I don't know if you have someone like Nana. If you don't, you can borrow mine, but she is the OG big energy being. You know, she came over in a boat from Ireland when she was just 13 years old by herself. Total, so it'd be funny because growing up we'd be like, we're tired and hungry. And she'd be like, did you come over the Atlantic Ocean by yourself? You're good, right? But so growing up, we have 36 first cousins. Any big families in the audience here? You guys know there's never any drama at Christmas, which we love. But so growing up, so Nana was the matriarch of our family, and growing up, we used to love this television show. And it was a television show from the 90s. We have sort of a mixed bag of ages and generations here that I can see. But maybe some of you remember this show. The show was called Saved by the Bell. Yes! Okay. I did a talk at an accountant convention 2 days ago, and it was silent. So this is really exciting. Okay. So most girls wanted to be the pretty popular cheerleader who? Kelly Kapowski. So I was weird. I wanted to be the bossy, brainy Jessie Spano because she was, Team Jessie, because she was kind of like the OG feminist in the 90s, you know? She was studying, she was smart. The caffeine pill episode took me for a ride. But other than that, you know, I wanted to be just like her. And so if you can see from the slide here, she's the gal on the right with a super sweet 90s perm, all right? Now, I knew in order to be like my idol, Jessie Spano, I needed to have a matching haircut. And so I had stick straight hair on both sides of my face. And I went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I need a Jessie Spano perm. And she was like, as the kids say now, she was kind of like, I love that for you, but I didn't get very good grades at school. So she was like, I don't know if you can put the perm chemicals that close to the brain cells. They will just, like, fair enough. So the perm is not happening on Helen's watch, okay? So we fight over this perm for months. And finally, Nana persuades my mom to agree to a compromise, okay? Yeah. I would not be able to perm the hair in my head, which would stay naturally stick straight on both sides of my face. But Scentsy family, hand to the sky, I would be allowed to perm just my bangs. Oh, no one saw the picture because the clicker didn't work at just the wrong time. There it is. Thank you.
That is...
Okay, where do we start?
Oh, yeah, it's okay. I was just speechless. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Did anyone else have a perm mullet in the 80s or 90s? Anybody?
No.
All right, so obviously the hair is viscerally upsetting on multiple levels, okay? Some people have suggested that I was the inspiration behind the movie Joe Dirt, where there's that. Thank you. So I'm also the inventor of the perm mullet, part perm, part mullet coming together. Now, what my perm mullet taught me, Scentsy, is that in life, no matter what you're coming up against, remember that this is the danger of doing anything only halfway, okay? You gotta go full perm. Can I get a full perm? Now the reality is you may not realize that maybe you can't see your perm mullet like mine, but in your Scentsy business, you might be up against a little bit of a perm mullet when it comes to what Melissa was talking about earlier. She mentioned people sort of maybe ghosting, not responding. So the perm mullet place is kind of, you know, they haven't said yes, but they haven't said no, right? It's kind of that awkward tension space. And so over the next 15 minutes, what I want to share with you is how we can get them to cross over from that space, from not really saying anything to being all in, to going full perm with you on this business. And what I'll say is that when it comes to how you're elevating, engineering your energy, yes, like Melissa said, it is about consistency. It is about confidence. It is about linking arms with the right people, but it's also about implementing a very specific strategy so every single time your fingers touch a keyboard, the right energy, the real world you energy shines forth. So you can cross them over and get them to say yes and go full perm, okay? So let's talk about how you're gonna do that. Before we talk about how you can get more yes energy, let's discuss why you actually get no. Now, a lot of people think the reason that we get no is because everybody has very short attention spans, right? Everyone's scrolling, no one can pay attention. Like, the fact that I have every single head up that I can see right here is already amazing. I've been talking for 10 minutes. So everyone's very distracted. So we think, oh, people just don't see our stuff because they're too distracted. But, yes, but it's also true that 15 million of us watched the entire season 2 of Stranger Things in a mere 48 hours.
Yep.
Right? We're Bridgerton. Where'd the hot guy go? I don't know. I'm on episode 5 or 6. I'm like, where was the hot guy? I mean, he just wasn't in season 2 and didn't. No one told us. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, our attention spans are shorter, but because our attention spans are shorter, so are our decision spans. Our decision spans. Your brain, energetically, every single day, is making an average of 35,000 decisions every single day. Think about opening your email. You open it, you scroll. You see those 10 words, that little preview text, and you're like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Your brain, it's like a bouncer in a nightclub, and there's a line around the building just trying to get in, right? And it's looking at you like, are you on the list? Are you on the list? Are you on the list? This is your poor brain. And so we are making decisions at lightning speed. Think of how you go through your social media feed. We may have some mutual friends on social media. Anyone else friends with this guy? This is Bob. Bob always flies first class. You know, he's a vegan who volunteers. You know, always picks the winning team. He's always hashtag blessed. Right? You're bragging, Bob. Braggosaurus Bob. Okay, so we see Braggosaurus Bob in our newsfeed, and we're like, nope, next. Okay, so then we see who I like to call always on vacation Vicky, right? She's in Italy again, you know, but, you know, she's having pizza and wine and gelato, but she's walking so much, she's like losing weight, right? Like, we love that for you, Vicky. Who pays for this? Next, right? Maybe in your newsfeed, you know perfect mom Pam. She has 97 children, but everything in her house is white.
Yeah, I love the house.
Tell me more, Pam. Maybe you guys know, and I don't mind this one, but just went to the gym. Okay. This guy hates shirts, but he loves a good bathroom mirror selfie, right? Or maybe you're also friends, nope, with Deb. Deb. No explanation needed. Okay. We have mutual friends on social media, yes or no?
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. I'll be honest, I have totally been just went to the gym. I have totally been always on vacation Vicky. Of course, we go online, and when we're doing cool, exciting experiences, of course, we want to share them to the world. When it rains likes and those dopamine hits come, you're just like, yes, right, hair flip. Oh, I love it, right? But here's the truth, you guys. It's not that people are bad people when they show up online with kind of what I would say we can all agree is some kind of icky energy, okay? It turns out it's not our fault. It's actually science. What is better? This clicker is so sticky. What is better? It's like a TV. Well, if I aim it, will it do it? There we go. Let's blame it on science. So it's called the online disinhibition effect. We're going to call it the ODE mode for short, okay? Now the ODE mode is what happens when a screen comes up between you and your most targeted prospects, clients, or customers for your Scentsy business. And the ODE mode ultimately scrambles your best energy. The energy you feel in this beautiful room today, the exchanges you're having, once you get on that FaceTime, that Zoom call, that in-person conversation, everyone's like, yeah, let's go, Scentsy, I'm in. But it's hard to get to that point. It's hard to make sure you're transmitting a digital energy that allows you to have that at that moment where you know you're going to shine at your best. It's getting there that we're trying to close the gap with. So it turns out that when you are online, the ODE mode wraps around your brain because you can't see nonverbal. You can't see someone nodding their head or rolling their eyes and blacking out like, what is she talking about, right? You can't see any of this. And so it makes us 34 times less persuasive, less likely to get yes than when we're in person. I think we can agree 34 34 times the Grand Canyon size gap between online you and offline you. So why is there this chasm between great energy, magnetic you, and slightly less so online? Well, it turns out that we are offline. We are in real life. Annie and Helen from Bridesmaids. I mean, I'm not going to debate it. Greatest movie of all time. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Get your stuff together, Helen. I mean, just amazing. When we're offline, we only talk about ourselves about 40% of the time. Less than half the time. So picture like a tennis match. We're hitting the ball back and forth. Oh my gosh, how have you been? How have you been? We go back and forth. We can see someone. It's an exchange of energy. It feels organic. It feels natural, right? Now, when that tennis net becomes a block to your best energy, picture it rising up and blocking all the positive Scentsy energy, and we actually end up talking about ourselves 80% of the time. Twice as much. Because it's not because we're bad people, it's just because we can't see it. It's like dear diary, like bleh. I mean, we can't see what's happening. We all do it. Most of the world doesn't even know that the ode mode is why they don't get more yes online. They have no idea, but now that you know, you can't unknow that science with a screen means that when you are reaching out on the internet, it is likely that you are typing like you're in selfie mode, okay? Now, we all love a good selfie, and we're gonna get some in a second. No one's judging a good selfie unless you're using one of these, in which case, no selfie sticks. Okay, so just to prove a point, before we dive into the teaching, I want you to understand why this works, okay? So we're gonna do a little exercise. Here's how it's gonna go. When we finish the exercise, I'm gonna go, ooh, 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 ooh. Perfect, that's what we're gonna do to stay on time and on track so we can keep it going. Now, before I go, ooh, ooh, what you're gonna do is you are going to turn to the person next to you or someone near you. Don't get up out of your seats because it'll take too long. But just whoever's next to you, or if you're just feeling yourself, you can go solo. And I'm gonna play a jam, and I want you to take your absolute best selfie photo. Then I'm gonna call you, you come back, and I'm gonna tell you what just happened. Sound good? Yeah, you in? Okay, grab your buddy or do it yourself. Selfies on 3.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Ooh, child, tired of the bullshit. Gone just to show you off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord. Trying to get some new shit in this swimwear, going to the bullshit. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me set the fire. We don't love you anymore. Just walk your fine ass out the door. I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Perfect. All right, Scentsy family, did you just feel what happened to the energy in this room in those 30 seconds, yes or no? Yeah. What just happened? What just happened? Why did the energy come up?
Because we were
The
engaged.
reason the energy just came up in this room is because we usually say yes to ourselves. The truth we all know to be true, when we are in that camera, we're like, honestly, not too bad for the big night last night, right? Calming, right? A little clean filter, a little Paris, come on, right? The reality is, the truth we all know to be true is that persuasion is personal. Persuasion is so personal. And so the very simple switch that you can make to all the hard work and effort that you're putting in every single day to grow and expand this business, the very simple switch is you just simply need to type more like you talk. Type more like you already talk, because offline you are 34 times more persuasive than online.
Yeah.
Offline, you're only 40% about you. Online, because the ode mode, it doubles. So you just want to mimic that 40 to 60% focus online. how you do that is you want to show about you visually. Of course, you're not going to take pictures of your clients' houses. Like, it's your account, it's your Facebook, it's your Instagram, it's your TikTok. It's you visually, it's your account. But verbally, you are typing about them. You show about you, but you type about them. Does that make sense so far, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, now that sounds very easy. Focus on your customer, not new advice. I'm gonna show you exactly how you can do that. Now, how you can do that is you can use a method that I developed over 12 years running the world's largest social media agency for live events. We ran social media for the Oscars, the Grammys, the Olympics, Nelson Mandela's 95th birthday. And I was in a situation where we were the small fish. There were all these huge agencies charging all this money with these fancy clients, and no one would hire me and my team. And so I said, how about this? You only pay us if we deliver results. And so we were very motivated to deliver results. But so we A/B tested thousands of emails, DMs, captions, posts, videos, and we were looking for patterns. We were looking for the 3 key elements on repeat where we could engineer the open, the click, the response, the meeting. Because sometimes it happens. You post one thing and it hits and you're like, hallelujah, right? Like it happened, right? But how do we engineer that with intention on purpose? So when one of your posts or one of your DMs or your voice notes does start to get traction, understand it's not by accident, it's with intention, okay? So the 3 key elements that were in the most persuasive, energetically attractive content that my agency discovered were in 3 key elements in a specific order. Now we call it the pub method. Now it's called the pub method because Nana, growing up, she used to always say that in life, there are no strangers. Oh, she used to say in an Irish pub, and in life, which is life maybe for some people, but in an Irish pub, there are no strangers. There's only friends that you haven't met yet. Yeah. And I believe in the forest, the wild forest of the internet, I believe that to be true. There are all of these strangers back here that can become friends for you if you know how to implement this method. It will raise your persuasion power and change your business. So we're gonna dive in quick. I talk very fast, as you can tell. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have you text the phrase, more yes. All one phrase, no spaces. It kind of looks like more eyes when you write it out, but the number is 66866. So type in 66866, more yes, all one word, all capitals, or I think it'll work that way too. And here's what's gonna happen. 2 things are gonna happen. Number 1, you are gonna get all of the notes from this method that I'm about to kind of give you the high level, 30,000 foot view on. We do longer, deeper workshops for days, but this is like the Cliff Notes version, right? So the high level version, you're gonna get all the notes. You're also going to get our brand new ChatGPT custom plugin. It's called Pub GPT. So you're gonna be able to use the AI version of what I'm teaching you, but AI still needs your energy, it still needs your coaching. They can never copy your energy, and energy never lies. So you are gonna need to know how to coach the AI, but everything we're talking about is gonna be in this plugin that we just launched a month ago. It's crushing, and it's gonna help you crush. And the third thing you're gonna get is my ultimate beginner's guide to using AI for direct sellers specifically. Yes, it's really good. Yep, it's yours, it's all yours. So I have trained over 30 network marketing, direct selling companies all over the world for the last 10 years. We've been A/B testing a lot with AI the last 2 years. This is kind of your crawl, walk, run guide. So you're gonna have all of these elements so that for the next 35 minutes, you can just listen and pay attention to what comes up for you. And all the details will be there for you later. Now, if this doesn't work for some reason because it's technology and it's life and that's what happens, you can also DM me on Instagram and just say it wasn't working, and my team will get you all these resources so you know exactly what to do when you get home. Sound good? All right, cool. All right, now we're doing real work. So roll up your sleeves. Party's over, friends. All right, now we're doing work. Okay. The fastest way for you to understand what needs to happen for you to flip your energy from that per mullet stage of being ghosted to a heck yes can be best summed up in this 1-minute clip from what I think is one of the best shows of the 2000s. You guys can fight me on it, but it was a show called Almost Famous. Anybody remember that show with Kate Hudson? It's about a rock journalist who writes for Rolling Stone magazine and goes on tour with the rock stars. And in this clip, you're gonna see exactly what happens to us when we move from non-persuasive energy to very persuasive energy. Take a look.
Hi, I'm William Miller, and I'm here from Cream Magazine to interview Black Sabbath.
Not on the list.
Hi! I'm a journalist. I write for Cream Magazine.
Oh, The Enemy, a rock writer.
Right, well, I'd like to interview you or somebody from your band. Russell, Jeff, Ed, Larry. I really love your band. I think the song Fever Dog is a big step forward for you guys. And you guys producing it yourselves instead of Glenn Johns. That was the right thing to do. And Russell, the guitar sound is incendiary. Incendiary. Way to go.
Well, hey, man, don't stop there. I'm incendiary too, man. Come on.
Sorry,
All right.
I'm trying.
So how did William Miller go from getting the door slammed in his face, not passing the bathroom check, not getting backstage with the rock stars, to getting invited back with Stillwater based on the Allman Brothers, the sickest band of the 70s, right? How did this happen? How did we go from no thanks, you're not on the list, to get back here to you with the influencers, the VIPs, those big fish clients that you know can take your business to the next level? Let's break it down. William Miller did the classic mistake that everybody who doesn't know the ode mode is wrapped around our brain and making us less persuasive. He did the classic mistake. He started off by using the least persuasive language that exists. I'm so excited. I wanted to reach out. I was hoping. My name. Selfie mode, right? Think about when you look in your inbox. You only have 10 words for your brain to decide. Am I in focus? Does this matter to me? Should I click? Should I go in? Do I care? How many times do you see, I wanted to reach out, right? Delete.
Yeah.
You don't even get a chance at that. Even like, you know, once you're at that, they don't stand a chance because, of course, they're going to be obsessed with this, right? But you have to get by the bouncer. When you don't start with them being in the selfie, that's when the door gets slammed in your face. This is where the pub method is going to reverse this for you. First step, number 1. I want you, the next time your fingers touch a keyboard, a DM, a voice memo, an email, I want you to ask yourself, is this personal to my audience? Now look at the difference when William Miller flipped the selfie mode on the camera so the band was in focus. He said, Russell, Ed, Larry, Jeff, love your band. Your song, Fever Dog, was a big step forward for you guys. You producing it yourselves, that was the right thing for you to do. So now they're pausing like, go on, right? I see myself in this selfie and I'm interested, right? See the difference there. So when I started my company, just like you, I was knocking on digital doors as a stranger on the internet to all kinds of companies, trying to get us to hire my social media company. I was like, hey, will you hire us? Will you hire us? Everyone was like, no, you're nobody. That's a hard no. So I got the door sent in my face thousands and thousands of times. I found one prospect on LinkedIn and I really, really wanted this client. Like you have one of those clients in your circle where you're like, I know that she would be perfect for this, right? This is the person for me. And so I flipped the focus of the first 10 words of a LinkedIn DM. Here's what I said. It looks like you're a fellow dog mom. Okay. I think we can agree this is not Pulitzer Prize winning journalism. Like, this isn't like a genius open, but in a sea of selfie mode, where she's getting message after message, it's selfie mode. And then she sees the one, looks like you're a fellow dog mom, and she stops. All we need them to do is just stop the scroll and just give us a shot. Do you see how it stands out in the sea of selfie mode? Now the magical phrase in a one-to-one cold outreach is it looks like you. It looks like you stops all of us. Because what it says is that they've Googled me, they've seen my profile, I am the one, right? Research is the new listening. The world's greatest salespeople are the world's greatest listeners. Well, online research is the new listening. Never, ever, 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 ever reach out to anyone one-to-one without giving them a Google. Give them a scroll. Take a peek at what's going on. If you can open in a one-to-one message, anything at all that is genuine and specific, a compliment, a comment, a commonality, literally anything. But here's the thing, it has to be genuine and specific. I get a lot of people like, Erin, it looks like your book was, what do they say? They say, I loved your book. And I'm like, thank you so much. What part did you like about it? And they're like, I didn't really read it. Right? So it has to be genuine because nothing will create a distrustful energy more than BSing somebody. So it has to be real and honest, right? Something personal. Now, you might be asking yourself, that's great, Erin, but what if I'm posting on social media, put my energy out there one-to-many? I can't research all the people that follow me, right? Great question. Okay. This is a picture of my friend Amanda. So Amanda was working in corporate America. She has 4 kids, single mom, and her mom fell ill, and she had to take care of 4 kids, her mom, and also try to work a full-time job in corporate, 9 to 5 in an office. Now, like many, many very successful entrepreneurs, she's like, there has to be another way. So she joined a network marketing company in the health and wellness space, and she started sending messages like this. I'm gonna sum it up for you. When I decided to walk away from my corporate career, I became a brand ambassador for this health and wellness company. I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted more. I had a feeling in my gut that I had found something that could truly change the course of my life. I didn't know the how or the why, but I was hopeful. Hopeful I could have the best of both worlds, time with my family, flexibility with my schedule, and freedom from financial stress. Now, there is nothing wrong with this post. Have you seen a post like this on the internet, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fine, yes or no?
Yes.
But are you like deeply, energetically, like just dying to hear more? If she's your friend and she's in your sphere of influence, of course, like good job, Amanda. But what about getting out beyond that sphere of influence? How do we find new individuals to energize with us on the Scentsy journey? Do you feel super compelled with this amazing post, yes or no?
No.
No, why?
It's all about her.
Why? Yes, ma'am, it is a landmine of I-bombs and my-bombs. Good job. A landmine of I-bombs and my-bombs. So here's how we can flip the focus. These are 5 powerful phrases that we've A/B tested over the years that will change the course of your open and allow the person on the other side of the screen to see themselves in focus. Have you ever imagined that so there you are. Remember when you know when you. Anything really, except for I. So for Amanda, we changed her open to, have you ever thought you had life perfectly planned out, but then something unexpected threw you way off your path? Now, has this ever happened to anyone here, yes or no?
Yes.
Of course. We just went through a pandemic, the world's on fire, permacrisis, and notifications, and, CEOs are making out with their heads of HR, like,
I bugged that side. Figured I begged the other
That was
side.
very nice. We were like, oh, she made me
wild
like
world
it.
out there. But so now we're kind of like, go on, Amanda, tell us more, because we flipped the focus. We
Get all
can
your
see
layers.
ourselves in focus. First 10 words. With me so far, yes or yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Practice with something at a
Step 1.
distance.
Now, step
Do
2
that.
is you want to offer something that is really, truly, actually useful. Let's go back to William Miller, okay? William Miller did the classic mistake that we all make where he says, I'm a journalist with Cream Magazine, and holds up Cream Magazine, and it's like, duh, right? We can see that. And this is what people do on the internet. They're like, here I am on vacation, here I am working out, here I am dancing in my white jeans, right? It's like, we can see that. But what's really useful is what your prospects cannot see from the image alone. What they can't see. Showing and telling the same thing is not useful. Showing you, of course, it's you. It's your products. It's the candles. All these incredible products that are being released today. The new flame candle, all the beautiful fragrances. You on your journey with your team here in Minneapolis. Yes, show about you for sure. But you want to type about something that is useful. And what's useful is what they can't see from the image alone. Por ejemplo. Let's say Vicky, for example, is showing us that she's always on vacation in Italy getting skinny eating pizza, right? But, what if, Vicky, have you ever gone through a terrible breakup, your heart is broken, and you've lost your identity? I traveled back to Italy where my grandmother, my nonna, is from, because I wanted to get back to my roots and reset my journey. Now do we care about always on vacation, Vicky? Of course we do. We're like, get it, girl, get that pizza, you deserve it, come on. But see the difference, right, in the energy around it. Let's say, for example, just went to the gym. Look, I don't hate a six-pack in my newsfeed, I'm gonna be honest, all right? But when it just went to the gym, it turns out that he had a terrible health condition and he was having a really hard time losing weight. We all wanna know how to get healthy and fit. Turns out he has this great hack. He kept sleeping through his early alarm before work. So he started sleeping in his gym clothes with his sneakers at the bottom of his bed. Now when the alarm goes off, all he has to do is put his feet in his shoes and just get himself to his car. Well, doing that, he lost 30 pounds. And all of his numbers are down, and so he's feeling vibrant. Now do we care about just went to the gym?
Yeah.
See the difference? How about, for example, Perfect Mom Pam? Maybe Perfect Mom Pam had like an overachieving mom that never really gave her attention. She was never around. So Perfect Mom Pam sets an alarm every single morning to have a 5-minute dance party with her baby girl so that she can make those memories with her no matter how busy she is. Do we love Perfect Mom Pam?
Yeah.
Yes! What's useful is what you can't see from the image alone. So what can you share that is useful? Your personal story, your observations, your life hacks, recommendations, ideas. If you're gonna share from, here we are at this really fun Camp Scentsy in Minneapolis and you're not, okay, what we can share, what can't they see? What was your biggest insight? Your biggest aha, your newest friend? The moment where we're all out here and we're so siloed, working on our phones in our houses. Sometimes I don't talk to another person besides my dog for days. You know, it gets weird out there. Like, we have to connect. We have to be together. And so tell those stories. Show about you, but type about what's really useful to them. Because every time you're showing up, you are leaving someone out there either feeling more exhausted or more energized. Look at William Miller, what he did with the rock star. You saw that. He gave this rock star, he was tired, backstage, it's his 97th show, he's just exhausted, and William Miller gave him a specific, useful, genuine, juicy adjective. What was it?
Incendiary.
Incendiary, designed to cause fires. And you see the look back, he's like, go on, right? It was just what he needed, it was useful. So for me, when I was reaching out to this gal on the internet, who I did not know, I was looking at her event. And her event had an attention problem. It was too long, too boring. So I just thought of an idea. I was like, what if we did a backstage camera with a bunch of VIPs, no script, just like, what are George Clooney and Brad Pitt saying? Like, are Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway really friends? Like, what's going on? And just live stream what's going on behind your event. That was all I said. This is a stranger on LinkedIn. Personal, looks like you're a dog mom. Useful, idea to make your business better. Now for Amanda, in that one-to-many environment, imagine you're crushing your corporate career when suddenly you need more flexibility to care for an ailing family member. Now I don't know about you, but I'm already in that boat right now, so she already has me saying, tell me more. Then she says, that's where I found myself just 1 year ago. So keep in mind, it's not that you can never talk about yourself, of course. You sound like a crazy person, of course. But it's just making the ratio of us to them mimic more of what it already is in real life. It's a strategy to take the ode mode down and allow your energy to shine forth. That is what is truly useful, okay? With me still, yes or yes? All right, final step, friends. We gotta keep it brief. Now here's the thing. We are all in this room because we have big personalities. We love what we do. We're high energy. We like fragrance and moments and savoring, and brief is not our jam. It's not our jam. I will never forget when I first met my husband, Hartman, who you were so kind to cheer for backstage. And he was this tall drink of water, southern guy. I was like, I need to lock this guy down ASAP. Like, he is so cute. And so we were back at home in Alabama at this dinner, and they were my future in-laws. They did not know this yet, but I did. So we're at the table, and I'm telling this very long Irish, all the details that nobody cares about story, and I see my future mother-in-law, Mrs. Charlotte Macaulay King of the Birmingham Kings, and I see her, and she's going like this. She's going like this. And I'm like, I don't understand. Oh no, sorry. Hartman is going this. Hartman, my husband's going this. Like this. He's like, And my future mother-in-law sees what he's doing. And I look at him and I look at her, and she goes, stop. She goes, darling, you have to land the plane. Yeah, land the plane. Bring it home, you're losing us, sister. Okay. We have to land the plane on DMs. Who else's girlfriends send them personal podcast voice notes that are like 19 minutes long? Like chapter 3, you know. We gotta land the plane. You know who does not land the plane? Who does not land the plane? Dead. Okay. You don't do it. How do we land the plane? Now, again, this is not our fault.
I can land the plane.
It's not our fault. Now, you can't unknow. Once you know, you can't
unknow.
unknow. So it's up to you to take this method and do better so you can get more yes, get those good vibes going, grow your business, right? So here are the phrases that are not going to get you yes. Let me know what you think someday, whenever you think about it, right? When would be a good time? Never is a good time. The answer is never. If I don't hear from you, I'll follow up. I will follow you. Right? Please don't follow me. Scentsy friends, here's a very powerful way for you to land the plane and keep it brief. Make sure that whenever you are doing an outreach, just a stranger on the internet, you leave them with an A or B option.
Yep.
As I mentioned earlier, we have road tested thousands and thousands of closes, they're called.
Yep.
And the A-B close will outperform any other way that you can close any message. Here are 5 ways you can close with an A-B. Do you want to meet this date or this date? Do you prefer morning fragrances or more for the evening? Do you like lavender or vanilla? Are you more of an all-the-time fragrance or special occasion fragrance? Give them 2 options so they can weigh in. It's so much easier for us to just weigh in on something. People think on social media that if you just give them an open-ended question, how was your weekend? What do you think? That we're just opening up this dialogue. No, we are so lazy, number one. We're not in a Google Chat GPT lean forward psychology. We're in line at Starbucks, somewhere we don't want to be, escapist, lean back psychology. It's a totally different psychology. We're not leaning in to engage. We're trying to escape. So when you think about that, you want to make it super easy for them to weigh in. Now, here's why they don't weigh in to an open-ended question of any kind. Because they're afraid that someone else's answer is going to be better. If someone says, how was your weekend? And I'm like, it was amazing. I binge watched The Gilded Age with a face mask, and I had a wine, and I was asleep by 8:30. It was divine, right? And then the person after you is like, oh, I was in Saint-Tropez with famous people, and you're like, oh, my answer wasn't that good, was it? So we don't want to have an answer that's not as good as everybody else's. So the A or B, one-to-one or one-to-many, is going to drive up that engagement energy, because we can't help psychologically but say yes or no. We can't help but weigh in. So give them 2 options. If you saw what William Miller did when he was trying to get backstage with the rock stars, is that He basically he said, you were incendiary, he loved what you did, and then he was kind of like, way to go. Like, are you in or are you out? And then he walks away, and what happens?
I'm incendiary too, man. Come on.
He gets asked backstage. So this is the difference, personal, useful, and brief. Now, for the gal that I reached out to, the stranger that was on LinkedIn, I just did the classic, and this is the classic one that I would recommend. If you don't know how to land the plane, say, do you want to talk this day at this time or this day at this time? You will see people respond to you and meet with you and stop ghosting you dramatically. You just give them those two things. Make it easy. They don't want to check their calendar. You don't want to check your calendar. I hate my calendar. Give me two options, right? Now, if it's one to many, here's how you land the plane. For Amanda, if life has thrown you a curveball lately, which are you choosing to embrace? Faith or fear? Scentsy, which are you choosing to embrace? Faith or fear?
Faith.
Faith or fear? Faith or fear? Make the love. Let's go. Faith or fear? That's what I'm talking about. So we changed the caption for Amanda. We made it personal, useful, and brief. And I want you to look, this was the old picture of her just being like, this is me and my mom. I'm doing something new. And if you love her, sure. But this is how you draw people in that don't already know and love you. This is how you turn the strangers or the acquaintances into friends. I want you to look at the difference. See the picture, that's her old caption. Now, of course, as the social media gal mentioned earlier, pardon me, I forgot her name. As she mentioned earlier, the algorithm is a beast, and it is dramatic, and it has to be a certain full moon in Mercury retrograde, and what's trending, and it's like an act of Congress to get the algorithm to be able to deliver for you. But all that aside, same picture, personal, useful, brief, caption. Friends, look at the difference in the likes. 10 times the yes energy, 10 times. This is not, likes are not everything, but they are an indicator that you are starting to get out beyond your sphere of influence. You're increasing your persuasive energy and influence. If you can be personal in the beginning, very personal, focus on your audience, move from there, offer something truly useful. If it's one-to-one, anything genuine about them, or if it's one-to-many, allow them to see what they can't see from the image alone. And then finally, brief, A or B, bring them home and get them on board. Make sense, yeah?
Yeah.
It works. Now here's the thing, it has to be all three in order every single time, because friends, we have seen what happens when you do anything only halfway, right? You gotta go full perm with this, full perm. Okay, now here's what we're gonna do. I wanna make sure that you guys go full perm. So here's my challenge. If you upload the selfie that you took anywhere on social media, or you can upload anything from this presentation at all that you think will help your team. Upload anything from the presentation or your selfie. Tag me, tag Scentsy, and just practice just the first flip. Practice this personal part. Practice overriding the ode mode. And cause it's our nature to say, I did this for 10 years, and I was still good right now. I'm like, and I'm like, oh my God, flip the focus, right? It looks like you. So just try one phrase. Have you ever been so glad that you listened to yourself and showed up somewhere that you maybe thought about not going to? Imagine that you've been working by yourself and you think you're doing pretty great, then you get to a convention and you realize there's so much more that's possible for you. So there you are, feeling like you're about to give up, and you hear that one nugget, you have that one conversation, you get that one new product where you're like, let's go, I'm back in the game, let's go, right? This is how you're gonna open it. So just practice this anywhere on social media. And I forgot to bring the books up on stage, but I have a handful of signed copies of my book. My team's gonna pick 5 of you. Yeah, in the next hour. Yeah. So 5 of you get free signed copies of my book. It's gonna be at registration in the next hour. So do your upload. And I can't wait to see you guys starting to put this into practice and get more yes every time you show up. Now, some of you are like, ooh, Erin, I hate selfies. They're so, it's not me, I don't like it, I'm sick of the Facetune and the filters, and same sister. And What you don't know, speaking of selfies, is that prior to Chris Rock slapping Will Smith in the face, this was the most famous moment that the Oscars had ever had. It was a selfie. It was from 2014. I don't know if you guys remember the selfie or not.
Yeah.
But it broke the internet. A bunch of stars got together. What you can see from this selfie is that just about 6 months prior, I was sitting at my kitchen table with my head on my old cold wood kitchen table and I was crying my eyes out because I could not pay a $100 cell phone bill. Let me just back up. I don't know what your money story is with your family, but I'm the granddaughter of 4 immigrants. And being the granddaughter of 4 immigrants, you feel a sense of responsibility to create a legacy for who's next. And in our family, we always had lots of love and food and music and things like that, but when the topic of money came up, I remember even as a kid, all the jokes and the music and the poetry, it all just kind of got tense. It got loud. It was never physically dangerous, but the vibe went down. I remember just hating it. It was always about money. So when it comes to the energy of money, for me, it's because I want it to feel free. I want it to feel joyful. I don't want the vibe to go down. I want the party to keep going. And so I always was trying to figure out a way, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I started one company building websites. That was a disaster. I started a second company. We were called the Tampon Series, PMS.com. I saw this guy do the Dollar Shave Club, and I was like, oh, they probably don't. So I pitched a table full of Newport Beach investors, a bunch of tan, buff alpha bros, like 2 seconds out of a CrossFit, coming in on their Ferraris, blaring Kanye before he was canceled. In the middle of this table is just a Mount Everest-sized pile of tampons, right? So 11 of them said no, but 1 said yes. And I walked out with a term sheet for 7 figures. We were featured in Forbes magazine. You just need 1 yes. 1 yes will take you to the next level every time. Every time. But don't get excited because then the whole thing fell apart 2 years later. People just get their tampons on Amazon. It's not a big deal. The grocery store, they're responsible adults, right? So after 2 years of hard work, the whole thing fell apart. But what I discovered in that failure, if you've ever had a really tough, heavy physical failure, you know in that dumpster fire of that experience, as painful and embarrassing and expensive as it is, that's where the phoenix rises out of the ashes. That's where you discover your actual superpower. And for me, I was not a good CEO of a subscription service, but I did discover that I had a talent for building community. Because our community online, DMS.com at the time, was the largest community on Facebook. We had millions and millions of women sharing healthcare studies and brownie recipes, and I hate my husband memes. But I knew how to create a community of connection. So I realized, okay, for my third venture, third and final, because I am out of cash, I am out of credit, and I am out of hope. So my third venture, I was like, let me try to build community. I had one very small client, champagne taste on a beer budget. I was working around the clock, and I was, when you're just in there, and activity and action and effort, you're in there, you're all in, and when you look at the numbers, you're like, this does not add up. This effort and this action is not showing up fiscally. So that's what happened to me. I had a $100 cell phone bill due, and I'm like, I was featured in Forbes. I've been trying and rolling the dice for 10 years, and nothing is hitting. And it's that moment, like in every great Oscar movie, where it's darkest before the dawn, and you're at a crossroads. You're at this terrible crossroads that maybe you've been at before. On one hand, you're like, it is darkest before the dawn. This is when the hero gets up one last time, and that's when they achieve their breakthrough, right? Or the other side of you, the realistic adult side of you is like, maybe this is my sign to fail fast and move on. This dream's in me, but maybe it's not for me. We've all been at that crossroads. And when you're really actually at it, and you actually have fiscal heaviness and people depending on you, it's not so easy to just say, keep going. So I could think we should all do in those situations. I went and took a shower because I think shower church is where it all goes down. You get the best ideas in the shower, I'm not wrong. Exfoliations equal epiphanies, that's science. Okay. So in the shower, and I could hear Nana's voice, and she had this mantra she used to always say. She would say, the stars will align. So I'm in there, I'm like, okay, stars will align. I don't know what your mantra is. I'll tell you right now, the worst time to think of your mantra is when you need the most. Is yours faith over fear? Is it progress over perfection? What is that anchor mantra for you that you lean on and you come back to time and time again when you need it the most? For me, it was stars will align. So I'm getting rejected, shot down, ghosted. The stars will align, stars will align, stars will align. Finally, that one LinkedIn message that I showed you. You're a dog mom. Here's an idea. Do you want to meet Tuesday or Thursday? Stranger on the internet turns into a meeting, which leads to a moment, which leads to a contract. And she hired my little nobody, one person business to run social media and community building for the world's largest event, the Oscars. So we get to the Academy Awards, we're on the red carpet. And I had all my friends, we had no idea what was going on. Reese Witherspoon, my birthday twin, March 22nd, I'm like, Reese! She's like, I don't care. She's like, when? I was like, hey, call me. So, it didn't happen. But so we're at the Oscars and we're working and we're trying and everything's falling apart, like the stars will align, stars will align. Suddenly, on my watch, something happened that changed the course of not just my business, but my entire life. And it made me realize that the words that you speak to yourself, the words that we use, the energy behind that language matters so much. Those critical conversations that you have up here will determine the course of your success like nothing else. I kept saying the stars will align. And when this selfie went viral on my watch, I burst into tears again for a different reason, because I realized that God and the universe, whatever you believe in, has a funny sense of humor, because celebrities are also called stars. And the stars quite literally aligned. And they broke the internet on my watch. It was a moment that changed my entire business. The whole thing blew up. I could pay for a lot more than a cell phone bill. I could, most importantly, show my grandparents that they came here for a good reason, to make things happen for us to the next level. My nieces and nephews were like, oh, wow, I'm the first woman in my entire family to ever make my own money. Every other woman's had to ask the guy for money, and my entire family forever and ever. I'm really proud of that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you should be proud of that, because it's hard. It's hard to break generational patterns like that. And my point in telling you that is that this is what's possible for you when you remember that when you are working on your Scentsy business, those DMs and posts and reels and emails and texts and voice notes, you're just waking up doing the thing, but they're not just messages. Those messages are moment makers. They are moment makers, Scentsy family, and any moment, any message could be that breakthrough Oscar opportunity client for you, that one yes that just re-energizes you, reinvigorates you, gives you that fire, that momentum, because energy is contagious. You are one message, one yes, one moment away from stepping into that, oh my God, is this my life moment? I promise you, I've been there. And so here's my question for you. When you think about the moments that you want to create for the second half of this year, the rest of 2025, what is your Oscar opportunity? Do me a favor if you're comfortable. Put your phones down for a second. Put your feet flat on the floor. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. And I want us to just call up what that Oscar moment is going to look like for you for the second half of this year. I want you to take a big deep inhale in through your nose. And a big exhale out through your mouth. I want you to inhale the future that you so deserve and that you're so ready for. I want you to exhale the past that you cannot change. I want you to call to mind your Oscar moment for the second half of this year. Scentsy family, is it maybe a to-do? Maybe it is a certain yes, a certain client, a certain number, a certain level. Maybe for you, you're feeling like it's more of a to feel, not a to do. I want to feel successful. I want to feel grounded. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel safe. I want to feel proud. I want to feel like I finally did it. I want to feel like me. I want to feel enough. Pay attention to that beautiful feeling of what achieving an Oscar opportunity would feel like for you. I want you to think about what is maybe the reason that has been blocking your energy from achieving that. Maybe it's an old mindset, maybe left over from childhood, maybe it was an authority figure, a teacher, or parent who said, this isn't for you, you don't have what it takes, you're not ready. Maybe for you, what's been blocking you is an old relationship. Maybe it's one that served you for a long time, but you've outgrown it. It's no longer giving you the energy you need to step into this next version of you. Maybe for you, it's a habit. You know, eating, drinking, shopping. Something that you know is blocking your energy from shining in the way that you know you're put on this earth to shine. Imagine yourself walking away from that mindset or that relationship or that habit, setting it free, letting it go. It's not for you anymore. Now is your time. Like Melissa said, you choose. You choose. You choose your story. Scentsy family, I want you to now imagine yourself 6 months from today. I want you to have your shoulders back. I want you to inhale that feeling of success. Inhale that feeling of joy, accomplishment. I want you to softly smile and feel proud because you did it. Imagine that success, joy, gratitude, accomplishment, energy starting like a warm light at your feet. That sense of having made it, traveling up through your body, that warm success, gratitude, energy, and light coming up past your big, beautiful heart. Feel that warmth of that joy past your strong, unencumbered voice, and allow that light of winning and success and contentment and safety and joy and gratitude to pass by your calm, clear, loving mind. Feel yourself surrounded. You've stepped into it. And be proud because your time is now. Your time is now. I want you to open your eyes for me, friends. That is tough work to do. Give your neighbor a fist bump and say, you got this. You got this. Now here's the thing, Scentsy. Before I leave you, I have one final warning. Here's the final warning. This will work for you. I have trained over 10 million people in the last 15 years. Here's the warning. When you start being personal and useful and brief, you're going to see more success. And the problem with success is the people in your life, they want you to be a success until you are a success. Then they want you to be less, play smaller, and dim your Scentsy light. And friends, when that happens, I want you to remember, and promise me you'll remember one thing. This has served me my entire career. That when the world comes up and tells you it's not your turn, this is not for you, you're not enough, whatever BS crap they are telling you, remember what Nana would always tell me in those moments. She would say, love, it is always better to be someone's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea.